Hey guys, PopTop here. With the Western release of Lost Ark less than a month away, I wanted to start a series of guides to talk about priorities. Since there are so many endgame activities to participate in, I thought it would be a good idea to try to organize them in a way that would be easily understood by a new player. I realize that some of the items listed in this video will be subjective, and you may find yourself on a different path, and that's totally fine. Since I've been playing Lost Ark on the Russia server and talking with other players about their endgame priorities, I thought it would be helpful to organize a list of activities that new players should aim for when Lost Ark releases in the West. As always, since this information is based off of the current Russia server, this information may change slightly for the actual Western release of the game. If there are any significant differences, I will address those in a future video. With all that said, let's get into it. So the very first thing that you'll want to do in Lost Ark is create your first character and get to level 50. Of course, there are a plethora of ways that this can be accomplished, but if you don't want to rush endgame content with your first character, that's completely fine. Play the game whichever way is most fun for you, at your own pace. However, if you do want to get to endgame content quickly, then getting to level 50 is your first goal. To reach level 50, you used to have to do the entire main quest through the Stern Zone, along with several timed quests and a few other side quests. However, in a recent Russia patch, they made it so that you can actually reach level 50 in Stern while only completing the main quest. This eliminated the need to do any other timed or side quests in order to gain enough experience to reach level 50. While this hasn't been confirmed for the Western release, I'm hoping that we get this new iteration of the leveling experience, as it makes for a much smoother transition from Stern to the first level 50 zone, Burn. Continuing through the Burn storyline will unlock Chaos Dungeons, which is a 3-level instance where you kill waves of mobs and mini-bosses to receive loot and materials that you can use to upgrade your gear. On the subject of gear score, there are basically two possible ways that you can reach the max level tier 1 base gear score of 302. The first way that will be available to you will be through Chaos Dungeons. However, these drops that you receive from Chaos Dungeons will be random, and it is not guaranteed that you will be able to acquire a full set of 302 gear from Chaos Dungeons, since you can only run Chaos Dungeons for gear twice per day on each character. The second and more reliable way to receive a full set of 302 gear would be to complete the Burn questline and continue to the Shushire zone. After completing the Shushire storyline, you'll receive a full set of 302 gear. One thing that you may want to consider checking before you enter your first Chaos Dungeon is your Epona daily and weekly quests. Here, you can complete up to 3 Epona dailies per day and 3 weeklies per week. The quests to complete Chaos Dungeons are under the Weeklies category, and will typically task you with completing around 6 Chaos Dungeons per week. This should be easily achievable if you're running your fully rewarded 2 Chaos Dungeons per day. There are also Epona weekly quests for PvP participation, Guardian raids, and others. So just choose whichever 3 you feel will be the most easily completable within a week, or whichever content you enjoy the most. For Epona dailies, I would recommend initially going for quests that reward these emeralds, as these will be the primary material used in upgrading the gear score of your equipment. Completing these daily quests multiple times will also increase your Epona reputation with that quest. Increasing your reputation with a specific quest will unlock additional one-time rewards associated with these quests. These additional rewards can range from silver to stat potions to collectibles. Obviously, some of these quests are worth prioritizing to benefit from the one-time rewards more than others, but I'll cover the Epona daily quest prioritization in a future video. For now, it's a good goal to just make sure that you're doing your dailies and weeklies consistently, and to prioritize the emeralds, so that you can quickly increase your gear score and experience higher difficulty content. Speaking of higher difficulty content, at gear score 302, you'll unlock your first Guardian raid. Guardian raids will be the first group endgame content that will become available to you. A Guardian raid is a group dungeon in which the objective is to defeat one boss within a 20-minute limitation. Similar to the daily limit of fully rewarded Chaos Dungeons, you can collect a Guardian soul twice per day by completing Guardian raids. Additional Guardian raids will unlock as you reach higher gear score, so it is recommended that you complete 2 of these per day so that you are able to receive upgrade materials from completion. As mentioned previously, you'll also want to accept the Epona weekly quests that grant you additional rewards for completing a certain amount of Guardian raids within a week. While we're on the subject of endgame group content, I'll quickly mention Void Dungeons. The first Void Dungeons become available at gear score 340. Void Dungeons are typically more difficult than Guardian raids because they require some knowledge of the specific boss mechanics. If no one in your group has previous knowledge of these mechanics, then your group may spend some extra time in the first couple of attempts trying to figure out why they keep wiping. It is very normal to wipe on Void Dungeons, especially in the first few weeks of the game's launch, since people are new and everyone is learning. Just try to stay patient and communicate with your group, and everyone will have a good time. Void Dungeons are honestly one of the most rewarding experiences at endgame because they usually take multiple attempts per boss to figure out what you should be doing at any given time. Each Void Dungeon can be completed up to 3 times per week per character for full rewards. The Affinity system is another activity that you might consider completing on a daily basis. Similar to Epona dailies, Affinity actions are limited by playing 5 songs and using 5 emotes per day. By completing these activities or giving gifts, you will increase your reputation with specific NPCs throughout the world of Arcasia. After reaching a certain rank, you will become eligible for certain rewards. These rewards include just about anything from silver, gold, stat potions, secret maps, cards, and collectibles. Again, there will be some reputations that are worth prioritizing over others, but I will leave that prioritization list for a separate video. As long as you utilize your 5 songs and 5 emotes per day, you'll at least be making progress with an Affinity NPC, and your daily actions won't go to waste. Another miscellaneous daily event are Adventure Islands. These are islands that become available multiple times per day, but you will only be able to complete the objective of 1 Adventure Island per day per server. So it will most likely be best to do this on your main character. Field bosses are another daily activity that you'll have multiple opportunities to participate in throughout the day. Field bosses are essentially a guardian raid out in the open world. Similar to Adventure Islands, these can only be completed once per day per server. Ghost ships are a weekly activity that you can participate in once per week per server. These will give you opportunities to collect additional gear score upgrade materials, seal books, and other rewards. The final daily activities that I wanted to touch on in this video often go neglected. These are the life skill energy and the estate's Manor Energy. Life skills take 60 energy per gatherable node, and 30 work points are recovered every 10 minutes. So once these work points are completely depleted, they will not recover 100% until about 58 hours later. For this reason, many people will just use their full work points to gather materials every other day. However, if you want to be consistent and gather every day, then you may want to consider using at least 4,320 work points per day, as this is the amount that will be recovered every 24 hours. So as long as your work points are always recovering, you won't feel like you're wasting any energy. Manor Energy recovery rate is 100 Manor Energy every 10 minutes, so it will basically be fully replenished about every 25 hours. It's usually a good idea to use all of this Manor Energy before you log off for the day so that the energy won't go to waste, and it will replenish while you're logged out. The best or most efficient ways to use this energy will be discussed in a future video. I just wanted to mention that this is something that you should consider using on a daily basis, so that your Manor Energy recovery isn't going to waste. And that's basically everything. There are a couple of other timed endgame activities that you could consider participating in, such as Chaos Gates, Voyages, and Guild activities, but these are not capped on a per day or per week basis, so I did not think they would fit in with the other activities that I mentioned in this video. I just wanted to go over a quick list of activities to consider participating in once you reach level 50. Now these are just the daily and weekly limited activities that you can do at endgame. There are also several other activities such as collectibles, dungeons, side quests, unique monsters, and other things that will be required to fully complete your adventure book, but I just wanted to talk about these types of activities that many players will want to prioritize first, since they are restricted to daily or weekly participation. Well, that's all for now. As I mentioned in most of the sections, I'll be making future videos that will go into more detail about which affinities, collectibles, and Epona daily reputations might be best to prioritize early on. Please let me know in the comments down below which of these guides would you like to see next. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please feel free to like or share the video with others. And if you'd like to see more Lost Ark content in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.